Ujjayi, and welcome to the Gated Gates podcast. I know it's been a minute since you guys have been back with us, but here we are. And we're excited to be back with you guys here. Welcome to season 2 of the Gate of Gates podcast. Before we get into it, I would like to take the time to acknowledge all of the great ancestors standing behind this great work, particularly Naba Musa Moradinabig, the Makaru for opening up the doors to the traditions, to the world, and everyone, because it's not just open to the diaspora.
Diaspora.
Whatever, bro. Whatever it is, and all the other powers of nature that are standing behind this great work, including all of the deities, all of those things. You know me. My name is Shemzimen. I am one of your hosts of the Gate of Gates podcast, and I'm here with
Kebtah, your other host, and we are also joined by our two wonderful other guests here.
Heqitem Traore.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was like, why aren't you saying?
Naba Yenboam.
So I know there's a lot of burning questions, like, you know, where did Gate of Gates go? Why has it been gone so long? And what's been going on? And you know, we were just we needed to take a break. We just need to take a season break. There's just a lot of stuff going on, just a lot of personal matters, deaths in the family, things like that. You know, I would like to also take the time and just, you know, put it out there, because I know some people know, some people don't, is that in particular was just dealing with the death of my mother. So I would like to just acknowledge my mother for birthing me and her contributions to me, Nana Inam Ali Muhammad. And yeah, we are just kind of cleansing the palate before we got back at it with you guys, because, you know, we missed this. I missed it. I know everybody else missed it, because everybody else was telling me and asking me, when is it coming back? When is it coming back? I know this guy has been ready to come back. I know Kenny Bashu's been ready to come back, and everybody's been ready to get back into the swing of things, and everybody that's involved in the production aspect, because there's so many people that are involved, a lot of people that you guys don't see. And yet, you know, we just needed to kind of take time. But it was really me that was really kind of needing time. But nonetheless, here we are. and we are reporting to you live in the city of Bobo Dioulasso, or Sia, for the traditionalists out there. And, this is going to be the sleepiest episode of Gate of Gates podcast that you have ever seen.
We're all very tired.
Everyone's very tired.
It's also like 2 a.m. over here.
It's actually 1 a.m. That's how tired he is that he tried to sell it even further by
Feels
adding
like
an
3.
hour. But nonetheless, this is going to be the sleepiest version of the Gate of Gates podcast. We have Yenboam and we have Heqitem here by force. There's literally a gun under the table, and if they don't engage in the show, then they will get shot. But that's neither here nor there. So we are going to start like a little thing in the chat where it is save Yenboam and save Heqitem from Tutipsa. But nonetheless, it's good to be back with you guys. We've had a lot of time to think. We've had a lot of time to really, digest. And before we actually get into the show, I just want to say that we appreciate everyone that tunes in, and we hope you guys continue to tune in, because we've met a lot of people over the past few months, ever since we took the season break, that we learned how
impactful
exactly
Gate of Gates really is to some people, yeah.
Exactly. And I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know at all. And not to say that, downplaying anything that we do or anything that we're engaged in. It's just that, we just enjoy being able to get online with you guys and connect with everybody and to talk and to really discuss things and all that stuff. And it's very touching to know that we matter. And we feel seen. We identify as feeling seen. And I don't know if you have anything to say to
add to that. I mean, like the Markru once said, if you can even talk to one person or speak to one person, teach one person, then you've already put yourself in the path to change the world. So it's very great. It's amazing to know that us doing Gate of Gates is speaking to not just one person, but many people out there, and we're helping to change the hearts and the lives of many people, which I didn't even expect to be the outcome of Gate of Gates when we started this. Truly, this is just what we do anyway. Like, if we weren't on camera, we'd just be sitting here talking about this stuff. So it's amazing to know that just our conversations, just what we are thinking, just how we feel, just our perspectives of actually reaching the minds of people. Because that's what the mission of Kebtah is about. It's about reaching people, getting people to start understanding, their ancestors, understanding where they come from, understanding traditions, and, just changing the world, making that shift. So it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling.
Kenny Bosch, make sure you share the link in the chats, for everybody to know that we're back. I know we didn't do this with any announcement whatsoever or rollout whatsoever, because we like to catch you guys off guard, to find out that you guys probably are, who knows what you're doing with your time, but if you're here spending it with us, we appreciate you guys for tuning in, and we hope you guys continue to tune in. So, without further ado, we'll skip all the pleasantries and everything that we've been talking about. And as you can see from this beautifully designed T-shirt that I'm wearing the blue version, and my brother over here is wearing the white version.
Rightfully so.
And what is that supposed to mean?
My name is Kaji Zariman.
No, there's no rightfully so. It's like trying to say, like, I'm supposed to be the dark one and you're supposed to be the light one. Like as if it's like tied to some sort of purity.
No, it's not even that. We played a good cop, bad cop sometimes. Sometimes we switch roles.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Some people were giving him some direct feedback, and they were telling him like, man, we love Gator Gates. Like, you're the water to keeps us fire. And I'm like, I'm fire? I'm like, I definitely think I was water. And so calm and, and smooth and just airy. But anyway.
Perspective.
Yeah, perspective. Shout out to Tutanen. Tutanen, if you're listening, I know you stole this design. Like, there's no escape. Like, I know you stole this design. I made this design. It was sitting in the Canva, and you took it. But that's neither here nor there.
Shots fired.
Yeah. Shout out to Tutanen. We appreciate your hard work. Yes, as I was saying, we are here reporting to you live in the city of Bobo Dioulasso, and there is a celebration happening. We are celebrating 30 years of Kebtah. Kebtah technically was started in 1995, and as you guys know, it was a mission that was brought to the Western world by Nebnabla Musa Mora Dinabig, and once he brought it, it started, and then just kept growing and kept growing and kept growing and kept getting bigger and kept getting bigger. And I've been thinking a lot about structures, and I've been thinking a lot about revolution and the spark of revolution. And we lost Master Naba when he was in his 40s. So he was relatively young, which means that he started the Earth Center when he was relatively young. And there's a history that a lot of people don't know that preceded the Earth Center before it came to the States, or as we know it in the States as the Earth Center, which was the HEPRA organization, right? And to me, there's a really great Tupac quote where he talks about how the Western society has a way of defeating you over time. And what they do is you eventually, as a man, you start a family, you have kids, you become a father, then you have to provide for your family. So what happens is father time defeats you. So you then aren't defeated by the powers that be, per se, or the people that want to stop the revolution, or the people that are benefiting from the system. But the system itself defeats you over time because it uses what you will eventually, do as a human being, a natural human being, over time. So everyone here is relatively young, right? I say relatively young because I'm in my 30s. I know Kaj's Riman's in his 30s, Yenboam's in her 20s, and Heqitem's in his 19s. So he's the youngest one out of all of us. But I've been thinking a lot about, do you guys, when we look at our parents, or when we look at people that have been in this mission longer than us, do you guys sit and think about everything that they've been through and everything that they experienced and everything that they faced and all of that, and then consider, do you think at some point or not that we will eventually be in their shoes as revolutionaries? And what does the evolution of a revolutionary look like? And that's an open question for whoever wants to take it. Yeah, your mom wants me to repeat it.
Shorten it.
Yeah, okay.
Shorten it a little bit.
As young people, looking at older people, what do you guys think of the older generation in the revolution, and then how we then are eventually at some point going to be the older generation? And what do you think is in store for us being the older generation? Does that make sense?
So, for me, how I'm looking at them, the old generation now, those like that generation is very like, I don't know the word, but it's like more calm, and the way they doing their revolution is more like like smooth,
Slow?
yeah,
Slowly?
slow. They know like for me, like my generation right now, I know like we have that fire, like the old generation have that fire. Though I'm not saying they don't have it, but their way to do it just different. But for me, at this point, like I'm just saying, like everything just like fire, and sometimes I'm questioning like my father, like how can you deal with this, or how you say like you're trying to do revolution and then you're just being like very calm, like very slow and dealing with them, like and then I'm like I'm not seeing I mean, for now, if you ask me, I would be like, at that time, I don't know how am I gonna be, but that thing that's in me is like ready to fight. It's like the fight. So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be like them. Hopefully not, because they're too sweet. I mean, it's nice to be sweet though, but if you have the first generation that's sweet, the next one gonna be like fire. So just get ready for us when we come in. And yeah, I'm not seeing myself. I mean, I'm seeing myself in the shoes, but nicely and like calm like they are. I don't know. I don't know about that one. I don't think I would be like that. Yeah.
What do you think,
For me, it's gonna depend on how we gonna about things, because what the difference between them and us now is experience. Because we wasn't here, or I wasn't there when they start the mission. I don't know everything that they go through. So if we're gonna deal with the same experience and all that, maybe we're gonna get there, but or maybe we even can go more than that, like where they are now. We can do more than that, and this is what the OG should do. Like, you have to give the opportunity to the young behind you to do more than you, because if you already do more than them, and then they're gonna do no more than you, so why are they gonna do if they are not gonna do more than you? It's like you bring 1 liter of bottle to stay in the table, and your younger brother bring the half. Why? So you can bring the half, then he gonna come add it. So this is what I'm gonna say. But I think it's about the fire, like she just said, because we all have the fire, but for sure we are not going to manifest that fire. And those who gonna manifest that fire are those who gonna be at the plus of the OGs. I'm talking to us.
Yeah,
When we're gonna manifest that, we're gonna
Yeah.
hope that level. So it's a challenge to that we have to go through, but we didn't know the future. What we can do, we're gonna just try to preserve ourselves, and then it's a path. We already know the principle and the laws, and then on all that, so we just follow it. Then I think we can make it there. So
Well, I mean, we have to.
yeah, thank you. We have to.
Yeah,
we have
like
to.
there's no choice.
It's not really
we
a
don't have
choice.
an option.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
it's not an option. So just have to make it there.
It's so interesting because, like, I agree with Yenboam a lot, because, like, I'm very much like, let's go burn things down. Like, I'm very much like, let's go, like, let's handle it. Like, if they want to see who we are, let's show them who we are. Like, if they want this, let's give them this. And I've been thinking a lot about like diplomacy, right? And like you can look at older people just in general, and then you can see how they have like a diplomacy about them, like how they can do things. And it just always makes me think that like, when do you, like as a young person or yes, us as young people, do you think that diplomacy is something that's useful? Or do you think that diplomacy is just like a blockage for getting things done? Because to me, diplomacy, a lot of times, people can kind of make it about like, oh, hey, Heqitem. Oh, Yenboam, you look so good today. Instead of being like, Yenboam, we need to go do this. Heqitem, we need to get this done. And then maybe you and I might argue, or we might fight. But hey, it's like we know we're trying to get something done. So do you guys think diplomacy is something useful? Or do you think diplomacy is something that's just in the way for us getting things done?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know since when the diplomacy exists, but I'm not sure we have it there from the like long time.
Original.
I think diplomacy is made for the modern world, not for for everyone. Those were in the modern system. Those are the one that are really gonna use this diplomacy, because I'm not sure in traditional we need diplomacy. You're gonna have diplomacy against what? And in this world, people really abuse of the diplomacy, where you can have your right, they are wrong, but you and your right, they're just gonna put you in this packet because we're talking about diplomacy. So I didn't think diplomacy is something we have to focus on. It's even not something that have to exist. So we can just ignore it. Like, okay, let's say we're gonna take out diplomacy of this world. What is gonna change? I'm not sure it's gonna change more things. It's just gonna bring back people to some levels. So this is what I think.
So just to be sure, like we're explaining it properly for people, when we say diplomacy, like we're talking about like politics, right? Like we're talking about like the political engine that the world as we know it, the Western world as we know it, has basically gotten everyone to use and has gotten everyone to then, utilize in terms of politics. So when you say that in a traditional society, or traditionally speaking, diplomacy or politics is useless, can you explain that further? Because there's going to be, I understand what you mean by that, but I know there's people that are listening that don't understand that. And then you can also chime in too if you want.
Well, I mean, whatever my brother is just trying to say, like the way you explain it, I would say, I mean, we don't really need diplomacy, depend on where we are, who's in front of me. Actually, if you ask me this question, I would be like, I would go like Heqitem if I was still living here, and then I didn't go to America to see how people like the West is like it is. I'll be like, I don't really need diplomacy, because here we just like, you need to get things done, just get it done. You're not doing it, I'm gonna tell you have to do it, because we don't have time to be playing you like, oh please, or this or that. That's your job. No one's gonna come and then trying to do your job for you. Just do it, So, but now that like being out, I would say it's something that I will use when, like, it depends on who's in front of me, and if and what I'm looking from, like, that person. But honestly, I don't need it. But if I'm seeing like that person need it, for me to play him, to get my shit done, oh yeah, I'm ready to do that.
So,
Knowing that it's not good, but I'm ready to do that, to just get my things done.
and that's just how the West functions.
Yeah, and then that's
ultimately.
how the West
Yeah.
function actually.
Yeah.
See, but I would really I would really want, like, I would want to be like, oh man, like, you have to do this and this have to go like this. But in the West, you cannot be telling people to do. You can't be straight. They're gonna be like, oh, you think you know better than who here? Especially if my English that's not correct, they're gonna be like, yeah, you just come from like a savage place, and why are you trying to tell me, you know? So, but they don't.
Someone said that to you? Oh, hold on. Someone said that to you?
Let's just don't talk about it.
Someone we know.
Yeah.
Someone we know.
Okay, this is Gate of Gates. Like, we don't. There's deities in this house.
Yeah.
Like, we don't tell lies here.
Yeah.
Someone said that to you?
Oh yeah, like, but not straight, but like not straight, like, yeah, you don't fucking tell me whatever I have to do. But the way, like, the person react with me is like, yeah, like, wherever you come from, you don't know better than me, so don't be trying to, like, oh man, this is like, but I was in some start of, like, in things where the person come to me, asking me questions. And then now, I mean, I struggle in English, but I was trying my best to make the person understand things, right? And then it was just like, it was just like the person was getting annoyed about what I'm saying, because I wasn't just going the direction that they want me to go, So yeah, and that's where, like, I'm like, yeah, if I need to use diplomacy over there to make things, like, to trying to get to certain, like, trying to go to certain point, I will do it. But back here, we're just going, like, straight. We don't need that in our thing. We just, like, things are not going like it's supposed to go. We have to do it how it's supposed to go. We don't have time for political things, or I'll be petting someone to do something you have to do it. I don't need to pet you to do it. So yeah.
So we're talking about, like, diplomacy, and to my understanding, diplomacy is, like, in the sense of just politics, right? It's just like political structures and organizations and stuff like that. Because even, like, I looked up the definition, and it's just talking about corporations, schools, businesses, and all these kind of stuff. And it's interesting that if you were to, like, be a part of any of those organizations, you do have a boss. You have somebody who's telling you what to do. There's always somebody above you. Like, you can't get around that structurally. Nature functions like that, but governments function like that as well. So it's interesting to say that diplomacy is not necessary, but at the same time, you kind of, like, it's just talking about structure. So it's a little confusing in a sense. So, like, what would you guys say is the difference between, like, diplomacy and, like, real structure?
Just what do you mean by restructure?
Because the thing with diplomacy, it's supposed to be how things are organized, right? Like, a diplomat is just somebody who's a part of the organization of things. So it's supposed to be about how things are supposed to progress, things are supposed to evolve. But interestingly enough, it involves politics, which we know is not really designed for the evolution of life or evolution of things. It's really designed to keep you in a stagnant place, but yet it's about structure. But structure itself is for things to get going. so it's the you see it's like a confusion to the mind. So it's like, that's why I'm asking the question, like, how do you guys perceive that? Like, what's really the difference between diplomacy and like what you would know as real structure, like coming from a traditional place?
I think diplomacy all have a structure too, and maybe it's the only thing, maybe not good, but the only thing they keep in the politic is the structure. So, in a traditional, we don't really have, because when you say diplomacy, that means it's right somewhere. It's right somewhere that everyone have to follow. In the tradition, it's not really working like that, because two person or a group of person can take a decision from all the persons, you see. We don't have the same realities. Everyone have to face the realities he have to face, or go to challenge that he have to go. So, and a world that becoming, the world still becoming and all that, we can't write something and say, oh, every time you have to respect this, every time you have to respect this. This is what diplomacy did. Because they want to write everything and they want you to follow the step by step. But the nature don't really working like that. The manifestation you will have will be different than the manifestation he will have. And then even for the same work, they're gonna show us different ways to do, you see. So real structure is that from our tradition, it just try to make one with your environment or your nature that you are in. Just try to make one with that, you see. Is that enough?
Yeah. So it's almost like the diplomacy is even getting rid of like what we would call like being dynamic in a way. Because if everything is just, you just follow this, you follow that, and we all have the same reality, then your life is not in accordance with like the natural cycles.
Because if you follow the diplomacy, they will see you as a good person. But when you're an intelligent and you say, no, there's another way to do this thing, they're gonna just be like, maybe you are crazy or you don't have all your head. So this is happening.
Okay, so I have a question for you guys, because you said like you will just like do it just to kind of get what you need to get done. Do you guys think we can engage in politics in that kind of capacity without then eventually becoming political or becoming politicians? Do you guys think we can bathe in the river of diplomacy and politics and not end up becoming a diplomat or a politician eventually? Does that make sense?
I would say, honestly, I really want to say yes, but the really thing that's making me not say yes is just like, but first of all, like, if I know where I'm standing at and what's my goal, oh yes, I can be in that position and like trying to deal with them, but making sure I'm still standing on my principle. No, not get distracted and then follow the, how do you call when the river flowing?
The current, follow the current.
Yes.
You have the mic, I don't, so you got it.
Oh, coffee.
So it depends on like if you know yourself and then you know where you stand at, you can be in that thing and then like don't get swallowed with that, because you just know my goal is this, and I'm here to just get this done, and when I finish with that, I need to go. I need to like come back to my point and like still in my principle or that which is like the nature principle that we all following. I mean, some of us following. So yes, I would say like yes, I can be that, but it's very dangerous at the like at that time where like not everyone are honest with themselves. Not everyone are honest like with themselves. Where like at some point they in the thing, but they just getting swallowed by the thing without knowing. And then they just think like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm still on my point, but you're just following. Like that principle at that time, they're the one that they're the one that using you. You're not using them anymore. So yes, that part have like I would be like you have two things depend on like the honest that you have like with yourself, your honesty. Yeah, your honesty, and then how you deal with things. So yeah, you can get away, but not everyone can do that. So I won't take the risk though.
A wise man once said that only an educated mind can understand the politics, but don't accept it. So politics are already here, is already there. So we can't do like it's not here, even if it's not in our advantage. We just have to accept that it's really here. Then what we're gonna do as an educated person and have an educated mind, we just have to use politics in our advantage. But the politic person don't understand that we are just using politics on our advantage. When we're gonna get what we want, we're just gonna disappear. They are not going to see us anymore. So we understand the politics, but we don't accept it. This is the case. Then every time you need it, you use it. Then after, you just let it go. When you need it again, you use it after you let it go. So I think it's it's already there. You just have to use it in your advantage. It's almost like an instrument. Yeah, politics is kind of instrument too. So,
but do you feel that? Because I often find like personally sometimes, right? For example, like in my workplace, I'm just gonna say it. They're not gonna watch this anyway. They're not that kind of people. Trust me. I highly doubt this. But like everybody there is pretty much a degenerate. What I mean by that is like, people are doing some very questionable stuff. Like stuff that, if you guys see me doing it, you would look at me like, what the hell is wrong with Kaja's dreaming?
Say it. What kind of degenerative stuff are you talking about?
Let's just say some degenerate
What's
stuff.
What's going on at your job? Where do you work at Wolf of Wall Street, bro?
It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that. If you ever seen that movie, the shit they're doing in that movie, that's the kind of shit that goes on, low key. Literally.
You're saying low key, and then you're talking about like this is commonplace.
Yeah, it's commonplace, but it's low key. You guys
know that movie Wolf of Wall Street? No. It's like they have like so much money. All they do is do drugs and like
prostitutes,
like hookers, like
get
prostitutes,
drunk,
and
cocaine,
then do like drink, cocaine. Like that's all they do, and then they steal other people's money.
Yep. That's pretty much the environment. But this is what I'm saying. That's
why I'm asking him. I said, "Is this where you work?" And he said, "Basically, yes." I said, "Where? What are you doing?" Like,
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing any of that. But what I'm saying is that's around. Like it's a thing, and I find myself a lot of times like I'm not staying here because this is not really my kind of scene. So when it comes to like things like politics and just the way the West functions, how long before like you have a goal but you're like in that environment till that environment kind of takes you over? Like do you really feel like you can be involved in an environment, use the tool, and not at some point get corrupted by it?
Can you repeat your question?
like, for example, what Heqitem said, right? Politics is a tool. It's something that we find ourselves having to use because we do understand it. But having to use it means we're in a certain environment. So because we're in that environment constantly, do you feel that you can be in that environment and still like be separate from the environment itself? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Almost like, do you think you can go to a village where they live completely different from how you live, and then do that for a long time, and then not eventually start to live like how you lived in that village once you go back to your place?
No. No, even in Merita here, the way we educate people, the children, you just tell them anything you're learning outside, stay outside. When you come home, it's different. So you live in your village, then you go to visit someone's village, then you see how they live. Then you want to come back and live like them. No, because you don't have the same environment and same principle and all that. But if you go there, you see a good thing, you can take a part of the good thing, then bring to your home or to your village and add it in your culture and try to add it in your culture. Yeah, you just can add it. You can do like it's just do like it's just, so you can just add it to your culture.
Yes, like he said, yeah, the main thing that our elders keep telling us, yeah, we're going outside, you learn stuff outside. I mean, we're going to school, of course, they're paying for the school fees. We go to school, the teacher telling us bullshit, and then they just telling us like, whatever your teacher telling you, don't bring that in my house. It doesn't function. Like in my house, I have my principle. You function like that. And when and then they have another way. They tell us like, when you go to your neighbor, and then when you arrive there, how the neighbor house is running, just find a way to put yourself inside and then run like that. And then when you come back in my house, you know how I live, you know. So yes, I would be like, I mean, I didn't be in America for so long, but yeah, I would say last year when I come back here, I didn't notice that something was like I took something negative from America and then I was acting like that. And actually, he's the one who told me like, you better get your shit together. You're not in America here, you know? So just like, yeah, like, if you're trying to bring your neighbor shit here, they're gonna just tell you like, no, you don't do that in my house. We have our principle and then you just follow. So it's easy for us when like in political, we can't get swallowed because we just know like, because they give that mind to us where if you go somewhere, you just have a goal. When you reach that goal and then you come back to your house or you come back to wherever you are, just deal like how the principle that's going on there, just figure out like, just bring that. But if I go somewhere and then I see something good, like being that or that river and then I see something good, I take that and then I bring back house and then I be like, oh yeah, being there, I found this. So how this can be used in our evolution, and then they can, you know. So we just like, I mean, Merita, we can do that, but America doesn't have nothing good.
So again, it's always goes back to the principles. So that's essentially what we're saying, the difference between politics or diplomacy and true culture. When we talk about even culture, what we're really saying is like structure. It's just principles then. So if you're raised with those principles, it's very different than if you're raised without it.
So I want to pose some hypothetical situations to you guys because I've been thinking about this a lot. And I don't think there's a way to go to your neighbor's house and then function like your neighbor and then not end up somehow bringing back how your neighbor functions into your home. Like, I don't think it's possible. I think because when you, like, because what you were saying earlier about like getting swallowed by like, you can kind of like, if you don't have the honesty with yourself, you can then get swallowed up by like whatever you're trying to basically use in whatever you're trying to accomplish. And the reason why I ask is because I think about revolutions, and there's a really good episode of this TV show called Black Mirror. And there's this kid, and he comes in, and they want to put him on TV. And they put him on TV, and then he's like, all of this is like bullshit. All of this is nonsense. All of this is like not good. And like, I don't want to be a part of this.
It's the one when he put the knife to his
When he
chest.
puts the knife to his
neck.
neck.
I
Yeah.
saw that episode.
And then what they do is they then applaud, they clap. And they're like, yeah. And so have you guys seen how they recently did like a Bob Marley movie? They did a movie for Bob Marley. Yeah. Yeah, they did a movie for
It wasn't
Bob
that.
Marley.
It wasn't that great. You're not missing anything.
I wouldn't
I
watch
would
it.
recommend
I
it.
didn't even watch it because I knew it was going to be dumb.
Yeah, it was.
So
it was
I didn't
just
watch
trash.
it. Yeah, I knew it was going to be trash. But to me, it's like when you look at what Bob Marley really did, like I think that what the system does is the system ends up swallowing you at a certain point. Because I don't think you can really sit down and make a movie about Bob Marley.
There's no way.
Because
no
I
way.
don't think you can capture on a camera and with actors who Bob Marley is.
With fake Jamaican accents,
And
by
what
the
he
way.
does and what he did and like what he was really doing as a revolutionary. So then to me, at what point do you just become the thing that then they are making a movie about when you're gone? At what point do you think you can fight against that or stop that? Do you think it's possible to not be swallowed up by the system at some point where they then are making a movie about you? Like, you're Bob Marley, and then you're literally everything that stands against the system. And then at some point, then they're just going to be like, yeah, Bob Marley. And then they're going to make a movie about you. And then that's going to be, for a lot of people, that's going to be your legacy, is the stupid fucking Bob Marley movie.
And they do it a lot. It's not just Bob Marley. Like, look at people like Malcolm X. Completely against the system. The moment he stepped foot on married to our African continent, that's when they was like, all right, fuck this. Kill this guy. Like, completely kill this guy. Now look, he's like almost like a national hero, right? But before he was most wanted. And Che Guevara, same thing. Like there's movies on these guys, documentaries, all these different things. And the system makes money putting these stuff out. So it's a good question you're posing it. It's interesting.
I don't think if I understand good the question, but I just think
Wait, tell me what you understand the question to be, and if not,
okay. Yeah, so the question is like, do we think at some point like the system cannot get us swallowed, like we can I can get this swallowed by the system, right?
it's basically like the system always ends up swallowing you. Does that make sense? So then, do we think we can engage or interact with the system without the system swallowing us?
Yeah.
It's a hard question.
But I just think the way you explain for Bob Marley and the other guy, I mean, at the time, I don't know Bob Marley's story like that, but I know, like, at the time that he was going against the system was choosing him like the bad guy, right? And then now that he's dead, they're trying to make a movie on him, trying to be like now he's like a hero, right? But it's just bullshit. The system is just hypocrite. Yeah, it's just hypocrite to the way like the system know exactly what people want and what people need. Because we won't lie to each other, but we seen a lot like nowadays are like there's many like the young generation, the old generation too, but like more the young generation are looking for like to at least like recognizing themselves to know who they are. So the system is aware of that. So now what they're gonna do is like they're gonna use that against them. And like the young people that are looking for things, they end up getting like in bullshit. So the system know a lot of people love Bob Marley because Bob Marley was fighting like against something. So now what they're gonna do is like they're gonna use Bob Marley to affect like people that's looking for knowledge or people that's looking for like their identity. They're gonna use that against them to like at the end of the day they're gonna make them come back to the same circle where you're gonna still following us. We deciding how things gonna move. That's the system just know like the system just using like
Like I said, this is going to be the sleepiest episode of Gate of Gates. We have people in the room that have just fallen asleep. And I don't know if you guys can hear them in the background snoring or not. But yeah, wake up. Bro, we got someone that fell asleep and they're almost about to knock over the tripod. Like, keep going.
yeah. So I mean, there's like we're still looking for ourselves. We're still like trying to know who we are and stuff like that. So there's emotion over there. There's still like this emotion, and if the system is like more like using our emotion to just get us to wherever they want to get us. So if using Bob Marley is the best thing to do, to just get people that are looking for, if they kind of like Rastafarian, Rasta. So yeah, they're gonna use that. And then a lot of people that kind of like have like Bob Marley mindset, they're gonna fall in that trap.
Right.
See, they're gonna fall in that trap where like, oh, look this movie about Bob Marley, this and that, and then like it's just like they're just trying to get you, like they're just trying to get you, and they're still using you, like they want. So, at some point we can fail, like we can end up getting swallowed by the system, where because the system know how to use our emotion to bring us back to the point like where they want us to be, and they're still using us. They're good at that. I won't take that out. Like I won't take that from them. They're really good at that. Yeah.
Genius.
So,
It's a good system.
yeah. So
I'm like sitting here like I even fall for it at times. I fall for it at times.
yeah.
Like where I'm like, can we beat it? You know what I mean? Like I sit and I think about it like, how do we beat it? Like for real, how do we beat it?
Yeah.
Because it's like we're even here speaking English. It's like we are even having to kind of like bring ourselves to their look. Y'all can't be snoring in the background, okay? Like hit him, wake him up. like y'all y'all can't be in the room with Gator Gates and then just like snoring. You guys are snoring. We're doing the show and y'all are snoring during the show. I get it. I know everyone. No, wake him up too. I know everyone's tired, but nah, y'all. No. So yeah, it just, to me, Heqitem, what do you think? I want to hear from you because you're the youngest one out of all of us. So I think that you'll have the most interesting perspective because I'm getting bitter. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm in my 30s and I'm bitter now. Like, I find myself at a time where I'm like I don't know, like fuck that. And like angry about it to a certain extent, where it makes me question if we can, or if we will. So what do you think?
Can you tell me one good thing the system did?
One good thing?
Yes.
That's a lot to think about right now. I might have to get back to you on that one.
What, like, no, I don't think so. I'm being honest. I don't think so. I don't think we could sit down and be like, yeah, like the system does. Because for one,
is it because you have an educated mind? If I ask the same question to someone that has not an educated mind, you can say, "Oh, the system did this, the system did that, the system did that." So the system is about to understanding. You just when you're understanding, I don't know how to say it, but system doesn't like people that understand the system. This is the thing.
Thank
System
you.
doesn't like that. You see? So if I some point Bob Marley understand the system, then see it's not a good thing and try to challenge the system but by his way, because everyone have a way to change something. This is what revolution is. You can you can do the revolution by what you have. Okay, so if right now they just making a movie about Bob Marley, they still think one like in our tradition there's people we call like they're gonna be acknowledged when they are going. Maybe it's that. Okay, maybe now they acknowledge Bob Marley was a good guy and all that, then they make a movie, or they just kind of want to destroy him. How to say? They just want to destroy him now, because the younger generation that is coming. So if they want to know Bob Marley, they're gonna go type Bob Marley and they're gonna see the movie. I'm not sure now if you go type Bob Marley, you're just gonna see the music. There's the movie behind you're gonna see. Then if you are not a lucky person and you start watching the movie and you think this is the kind of person Bob Marley was, is that you wasn't lucky. But for sure his music's still there, we're gonna still listening and all that. But is that so? As I said, this system just makes sense to people that doesn't
understand it.
Yeah, doesn't think about the system, because people don't really think about the system. They just system said so we did. They don't want to think and see why the system said that, and then there's no other way to do that. The system said so, we just have to do it. But for us, there's some situation we're gonna just say, they said that, we just have to do it, even if we don't accept. So it's about that. And the system can still do what they did, but I think one day they're gonna fall. And they're gonna fall so, how to say, so low that to get up gonna be difficult for them if they continue that way. Because for sure it's gonna work and work and work. But the day it's gonna stop working, they're just gonna fall. Everything they build just gonna fall.
So, real quick, it's interesting, right? Because earlier in the conversation, we were talking about like the older generations and us as the younger generation. We have like that fire, like we have like that energy that we kind of like want to like, attack the system, like go at the system. But do you guys think, even with what Heqitem just said, like, do you think maybe the older generation might have had that same fire in their youth? Maybe they did try to attack the system or go at it the same way we did, only to find out that the system will always try to swallow you. But like Heqitem said, it's the way the system is going. We, as people who are educated about it, people understanding it, right? Or at least I hope we understand it enough. We have that understanding that it's probably going to collapse on itself someday. So do we really need to push too hard, or should we take the more patient route but still preparing the younger generation? And like Heqitem even said earlier, use the fire they have, but give them the opportunity to use their fire and manifest it, while we're the ones in the back burner, like doing the patient route, because we understand it, because we've been there already, we've done that.
So what I can say is that the system doesn't start now. It started a long time ago. Then we initiate of Kebtah or initiate of Ntam or disciple of Makiru. I don't know how much we are, but if we end up and say we're gonna fight this system, like with all our energies, I'm not sure we're gonna last. Yeah. So maybe we're gonna just get out quick. Because we already in the system. The system is not in us. We in the system. So it's gonna be so easy for the system to kick us out. But what we can do is just preserve ourselves. Just preserve ourselves. Teach the younger generation how to preserve themselves. Oh, I'm in the young generation, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you are. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why we want to hear from you, because you are that younger generation.
Teach that generation how to preserve themselves. Then I said, for sure the system's not gonna keep going like that. One day it's gonna fall. Then the time that the system gonna start falling is the time that you have to shoot in. Then when we're gonna shoot,
It's gonna finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Heqitem is right, because when he started talking at the beginning, he already said like the OG have like more experience. That's the reason why, like, for now, the way they function, like, they understand the system more than us, the younger generation, because we still have like many questions that we asking ourselves, because we see many things, and then we like, oh, it's easy to just do it this way. But the old generation already understand it more, and then they know how to deal with them. And at some point in life, we're gonna end up there. And the only thing is, like, we have that fire, like we wanna fight. The OGs have the same thing, that they wanna fight, and then, but they just have like, they're just doing it with intelligent, where they just playing them. Because we still need the system. We can't go around it. We still need the system to get wherever we're going. So that's what they're doing. And then now, the only thing they're doing is just like, they're making sure like their descendants are like following. They already like, they preparing the young generation to come. And then the young generation to get ready to prepare the generation that's coming to we have like to bring that fight together. And then at some point, like he said, the thing gonna end up falling, the system gonna end up like crash, and that's the time to go. But if we're trying to go like fight us young now trying to go to fight them, I mean, yeah, we can go nowhere. But yeah, like that's like the energy that we have now. That's the energy that we have, like we just want to fight them. But yeah, it can like, we can function like, we can go like that with the system at the end of the day, you know.
So yeah, just like she said, I know the Makeru give us all the thing we need, all the chronology and all the principle and all the, but we just have to be patient. You see, we have to be patient, and then just there will be the good time, the good moment, the good time that gonna make for us. Then we gonna fight that system. Okay. For now, we are not too much. Maybe the next 5 years, we're gonna sit here. Maybe all the Merita people gonna start shooting the system, and then you see, like you see Burkina,
They
Mali, and
already
Niger,
start,
the
yeah.
IS, what they already start doing. So it's gonna
It's
start like
awakening.
that. Like Chad did the same thing too, and then Senegal start doing the same thing too. So it's about that. It's just small. We're gonna destroy that system. And then why the system lifelong is that every day the system are working to still keep us down. You see? Like the system already prepare with the thing that they're gonna keep us down for like the next 100 years. So they already have the plan that for us the next 100 years. Yeah, that's it.
No, you can't be snoring in the background, bro. Like this isn't an ASMR video. Yeah, yeah. Wake him up. Have you guys ever seen the movie Star Wars?
Star Wars?
Yeah.
Yes. I see Star Wars.
All
Okay,
of them, like all of them consecutively.
No.
Have you seen
I don't know how to watch movie 1, 2, 3. I only did have for Fast and Furious, like.
Yeah, too much, right? They go too
Fast
far.
and the
Yeah.
Furious? Okay, have you seen Return of the Jedi? Return of the Jedi.
That's
Have you
the
seen it?
older ones, right?
That's the one of the older ones.
I'm not sure I looked that up, but.
You got to talk into the mic, otherwise people won't be able to hear you.
Okay, I'm not sure I looked that part. So, the
So-
Return of Jedi?
So there's this. I'm gonna explain it, and I think it ties into something we get in initiation, in terms of like one of the questions that Wisser asks Hedu, right? And the guy is considered the last good priest. Like, just to put it in a way you guys will understand, he's like the last good priest. And they are trying to, there's like sorcerers that are trying to kill him. And he says to the sorcerers, I'm not going to fight you. And the sorcerers keep trying to fight him, keep trying to fight him, keep trying to fight him. And so eventually, he just says, I'm not going to become you by fighting you. So he doesn't fight. So do you guys think that we can beat the system by fighting the system and by then doing the things that the system does, even if we're just doing it, even if we're just doing it because it's like, I need to get what I want. I need to just do it just to do it. Do you think we can ever beat it that way? Or do you think we just have to say, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to engage in diplomacy. I'm not going to engage in politics. I'm not going to engage in these things that the system does. Do you think we have to either decide no, or do you think we can, kind of like do it as long as we're honest with ourselves and then just are constantly working and reminding? Because I think only a few people can actually do that. Like your dad is one of them, but I haven't met many people that know how to do that. I don't think there's a lot of people that can do that. So do you guys think we do it and then hope we don't get swallowed up by it? Or do you think we just say, no, we're not going to do it?
This question is not about no or yes, because we have to do it. This is the case. But can we do it at the way you explain? The way you explain. I'm not sure you can fight the system between the system. It's almost like almost like try to win someone by in the game he create his game, you gain his game and you try to win him. Nothing is possible.
It makes no sense. No sense.
So as I said, what we can do is just preserve ourselves. We know, like right now we can shoot the system, but are not going to bring the system down. It can just make some, how to say it? Like
holes, some small
holes to the system, but it's not gonna break it down. Now we start having country that understand the system too, because if you go back to 2020 or before that, there was not a country that tried to request what the system or how the system function. But now we're starting to have that kind of country that request the system, and then it's gonna enlighten all those countries that are being sleeping and then accept all what the system saying. So at some point it's gonna evolve that, and I think now the systems are really scared. I don't want to be in the place now, because they know what they are building is starting falling. Okay, so this is what we want. We want the system to fall. That we are not going to hide this to someone. We don't like the system. We want the system to fall, but everything have the time that it's gonna come. We just have to preserve ourselves and then use the system, and then make our wishes the system being destroyed or the system being fight. And when we're gonna keep doing in our way, as the Markel said, what the human are not able to achieve, time gonna achieve that for him. Then but to talk about that, you have to be in the good path. Okay, so this is it.
Yeah. You know, I've always viewed the system almost like a parasite. And to like further your point about like it's inevitable, its own end. Like when a parasite finds a host, it pretty much latches on to that host, eating away at that host until the host itself is dead. But then once the host is dead, then what happens to the parasite? It pretty much has nothing to feed on anymore. It's already taken over territory. But if you can preserve parts of the self, preserve areas where the parasite cannot reach, then you definitely can save the body. And that's how I've always perceived even like the mission of Kebtah, like preserving culture, preserving people, preserving ancestral lineages. All of these is the only way you can kind of like fight the system. You know, even like Heru is a preserver at the end of the day. So that's even like, for those of you who don't understand, that's maybe initiatic, but that's what we're talking about. Like really learning how to be a preserver. And in being a preserver, that's how you fight, because it's the only way you can.
Yeah, I mean, and I want to tie it back to like what we talk about in the initiation when, you know, Heru is going through his initiation, and Wisser asked him, what kind of weapon will you use, or what kind of animal will you choose to go fight? And he says, a horse. And he says, really? I thought you would say a lion. And he goes, no, because eventually, after using the lion to defeat my enemy, the lion will then will turn on me.
It's tasted blood.
And he says, but if I use a horse, I will then be able to like chase my enemies
Yes.
and to know where they're going.
Yeah.
And to me, I question whether or not we can be in the system doing the system things and then say that we're eventually going to see the system fall. Because it's like, how do you stop? Like you ever dealing with like maybe like you're walking on the street and there's like a dog and the dog won't shut up and the dog just keeps barking and barking and barking and barking and barking. And then eventually you kind of look at the dog and then you just look at the dog. And then the dog just shuts up and then just doesn't bark again.
Just lick him with that big stone. Shut the fuck up.
Yes. I mean, we actually, speaking of dogs, for those of you that don't know, as we're here for the 30-year celebration for Kebtah, we were fortunate to have a dog work, and we were fortunate enough to be able to try the dog meat. Some of us tried. Some of us, it was for the, few times. And there were a few people that were like, yeah, we definitely shouldn't say that on the podcast. And I was like, well, who cares?
I was definitely an advocate for saying it. That's some of the best meat I ever had in my life. I don't care what anybody says. It to me, like I'm from Jamaica. Dog, it tastes like some good downtown Kingston jerk pork. I'm telling you right now, Jamaicans, you need to come back home, come to Africa, come to Merita and get you some dog. I don't care what anybody says. Make this clip go viral, please.
Gator Gates, we're back. We're back. And just in case you needed a reminder. Yeah, just in case you needed a reminder that this was the Gator Gates podcast.
Listen,
yes.
F-U-C-K those dog lovers.
Yeah.
You need to eat that dog.
Here's the
Chop
thing,
Fido
is that
up.
we're not in America. We're not in America. So you can't hold it against us. So, yeah, I think, is it going to be the generation of our children that just aren't going to engage in the system? Or are we going to be the ones that aren't going to engage in the system? What do you guys think? Do you think it's going to be our children to not have to deal with the system? Or do you think it's going to be us to never have to deal with the system? Why do you say it would be our children? Yeah, I'm trying to give it to you.
So why I'm saying like it's gonna be our children? I mean, because now, first of all, let me acknowledge our elders because they already did the path for us, and then now we just continue the path. So like the next generation that's coming to gonna have to they don't have to deal with this anymore. Like our elders did it, where they trying to make things clear for us, educating us to understand the system, and then have to deal with them. So and have to try to stop them by not acting like them or going crazy like them. So I would say our children will be the one that will be like, why am I talking like I'm older? I am older.
Because we have to because we have to think far.
Yeah.
Like even though we're young, we have to think far. Because it's like that's all we have.
So yeah, I would say yes. With the children, like the next generation are the one that are gonna be have piece of not dealing with the system or the craziness of the system. Hopefully. Yeah, we're gonna do the job for them though. They did for us too.
children, that means the generation that coming after us. You and I same generation, or should I take myself out?
Take yourself out.
Okay.
Take yourself out.
So I have to say our generation, right?
Well, technically speaking, like you could maybe say we're almost the same generation, but take yourself out,
Okay.
because then you can then say what you want to say, instead of trying to make it seem like it's like making us feel better. Don't make Kaja's Raymond feel better. Just say it for your generation.
I think all of us, or all of you that are in this path and have children, all your wish or everything you do, you think about your children first. You think about how they're gonna be after you, or which kind of deal they're gonna have to face after you. But I don't know if the next generation are the one who gonna fight, but for sure they are the one who maybe gonna have the base. No, we already have the base by some those, so maybe they are the one who gonna start understanding. But fight is a high wall, because we're talking about the system, and the system, we can say the system is everything. Everything is the system. So it's so immense that
Including us.
yeah. Okay. The system is so immense. Immense English?
Immense.
Yeah, so immense that it's gonna take time to really fight the system. Or maybe the system gonna end up some level that the system gonna start fighting the system. Maybe that can happen too. And then that can happen by intelligent person. They're gonna make the system fight the system. By how? By the thing that you take for true for a long time, then someone just come tell you another thing. Then when you talk about it, you see what he say is the good thing or is the real one. Then the thing you've been following for maybe thousands of years or is not real, is not that. Are you understand? I said, like, if you think something is right for like 2,000 years, more than that, and then some person come at a time, then say whatever you believing or whatever you're doing is not the good one, and then you start thinking about it, and you see what he's saying is true, think you're gonna start fighting yourself, because for you gonna be, how did I understand that? Like for me, I just look at the system like a business, so I can understanding good, but it's not for everyone. This is what knowledge is good and education is good too, because I see the people younger than me, then for them is like just like, oh, to be like Jay-Z, the girl want to be like what her name again?
Beyonce.
Yeah, thank you. Beyonce, Cardi B, and all that. Yeah. Then me, I just find that for me this is just crazy, but for them it makes sense because they want to look like someone that are popular. So
Yeah.
for them it makes sense, but I think we're gonna end up that level if we are not, or the time doesn't allow the next generation to fight the system, then or understanding and all that, then the system can start fighting itself too.
Yeah, it's I don't think we're gonna find the solution in one conversation. I think it's something that we all have to think about.
Yeah, because if it was so easy, maybe for sure
have already been
people
done.
will do before
Right.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
If it was that simple, then it already would have happened. So I mean, it's just a conversation starter, we're back with you guys. It's season 2 of Gator Gates. We're lucky enough to have Heqitem and lucky enough to have Yenboam. And we would just want to get to the questions, and then I'm going to let these people go to sleep because they're going to kill me if I don't let them go to sleep. So
It's 4 in the morning.
yeah, it's not 4 in the morning.
Do you know where your children are?
It's 2:30. So, first question we have is from Chem Warrior Zulbukande.
Welcome back, Kim
Welcome
Warrior.
back. It's good to see you.
As always.
And the question is, why did it take so much time for a traditional African culture like Kebtah or the Earth Center to launch a revolution rooted on Kemetic civilization? I don't think it took as long as you think it does. I just think that for a human being, time passes so slow that maybe you don't look at your lifetime in the context of the existence. Because life as we know it exists within the existence, or life as we know it is within the existence. So I think when you look at it from the perspective of one lifetime, you'll be like, oh, this is taking a long time. Or you look at it from the perspective of 2 lifetimes, 3, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and so on and so on and so forth. You'll be like, this is taking a long time. But if I was to ask you to look at it from the perspective of 1,461 lifetimes, so 1,461 years, do you think it would be taking a long time?
And that's just years from our perspective as like human beings in terms of counting like
Correct.
cycles, right? But like when he's saying 1,461, that in itself is almost like what we would consider a year for like just the earth. So you gotta like put that into perspective. Like the system that we're talking about is not even 3,000 years old. So it's basically a year old. It's still a baby system.
It's young.
And it's already collapsing on itself. Like really think about that. That's a lot to consider and a lot to think
We
about.
don't wish that system start working.
Yeah.
Another question from Chem Warrior Zulbukande is, does Kebtah know any other methods of uniting the continent of Africa besides preaching unity and oneness? I don't think the Earth Center preaches unity and oneness. Like going and like, you know how like they go in church and then they'll be like, oh, read the Bible. And it's like they preach on the street. He's saying that we preach like we preach like oh, Yenboam, hold my hand. Oh, Heqitem, hold my hand. And then let's all sit here. And then, like, oh, hallelujah, everything is going to be fine. Like unity, like all of us work together no matter our differences. And oneness is very similar. I don't think that the Earth Center preaches that. I think that in actuality, when you really like break it down and you really look at it, it's just that the Earth Center is at its core an organization that's about humanity. It's about human beings. So then you don't talk about unity or oneness because at the end of the day, we're all already united.
Exactly.
If that makes sense. Like we're all one people already.
We're all earthlings.
Like we're all in this together, whether we think it or don't. We're in this together. So I don't think that the Earth Center preaches unity and oneness. I think the Earth Center just opens up the door for you to understand that, there are no differences.
It's just acknowledging the reality of what's there. But yeah.
And this is the thing. even when we go out to an event and all that, we just go to show people what we have. Then, if what we have converse you, or how to say in English, if what we have is good for you or you see is interesting,
Resonates. That's the word people like. Yeah.
then you come to us. We don't really go to your house and then start, oh, you should come to the F Center and all that. Because F Center or Kebtah are not made for everybody. Just made for revolutionary. As we say, it's a mission and then we have an objective. So if you think you can help to reach that objective, then you come. But the objective is really about ourselves, because it's about ourselves realizing who we are and all that. Because before I come to Kebtah, even when you look in the CD and all that, you will never see somewhere they're gonna write honor your ancestor, respect to your ancestor. You have to promote your culture and all that. All they just write is Maumei is your your how to say? Yeah. Jesus is Allah is one and all that.
Jesus is your savior.
And you see the religion is like the horse of the system, you see. So when we talk about the system falling, we talk about that too, the religion fall too. Yeah. Because if the system fall and the religion don't fall, the system can just wake up easy.
Right.
Yeah. It's like the key.
Yeah, that's like the religion is just like the key that system used to get like everyone.
Yeah. Because they
That's the-
understand
Yeah.
human are so emotional and all
Thank
that. So when they talk to you, they just talk to your heart.
Heart.
This is the difference between spiritual men and then religion men. You can listen to Kebtah, whatever we said here, we didn't address to your head. We just addressed to your mind. You can watch all the Gate of Gate episode, all the event, the F Center were then talking. We never talk to your heart. We just talk to your mind.
Yeah. Kebtah is not here to make you believe anything. Just use your mind, please.
Say it one more time.
Kebtah is not here to make you believe anything. Just use your mind, please. Your head. That's all.
Or, like my sis here says, just think about it a little bit. Just think about it.
Just think about it a little bit, please.
So we have another question here. What is your opinion on the ban of TikTok and Americans migrating to Red Note?
Red Note? Wait, what the hell is Red Note?
I think it's like basically like another version of like TikTok or Instagram, but it's like
Oh, it's an app.
but it's really controlled by the Chinese government.
Oh, okay.
Like they're trying to say like, you guys know TikTok, right? Yeah. Yeah, obviously. Heqitem's like, duh, I'm not old like you. Do you know the TikTok? So you guys know that in America, TikTok is illegal now. You can't use TikTok in America. So now what people are doing is they're using this other app called Red Note. So the reason why they made TikTok illegal is because they said that the Chinese government owns TikTok now. But the other one is really owned by the Chinese government.
So what's really going on then?
So, so
What is this?
I would just say this, right? I think the American people have been lied to for such a long time that now they don't want lies. So I think that if you have people flocking to a social media platform that can't be controlled by the US government, because the only reason why the American government doesn't want TikTok in America is because then the American government can't control the Chinese made application.
Okay.
because the American government controls Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, all the other ones, all the other popular ones that everyone uses, probably Snapchat too. Whatever you think you send to people that disappears, there's probably some loser at the government with all of your disappearing messages. Heqitem's now thinking about all of the messages he sent. I know, he's like, oh shit. He's like, I never should have sent that picture. He's like, I hope that one never comes back. Like, I hope they can't find that video. And to me, I think that realistically, when you look at like what's going on, it's just about control. So I think that you see people not wanting to be controlled by the government anymore. And I think that's why people are now going from TikTok to Red Note.
Wow, a lot of people just lost income. Because there's a lot of people
Yeah,
now
people
who
make
are...
a lot of money off of TikTok.
Yeah, like it's interesting to see in modern day times because people are no longer going the traditional, I wouldn't even call it traditional, the slavery route of working a 9-to-5 job in this economy. They're finding ways to make money off of these applications. And that money, they're using it autonomously to go and live in other places. So like right now, people are living in like Merita, people living in Bali, people living in China, Indonesia, the Caribbean, but while making US dollars just because of apps like TikTok. So of course the government want to shut it down because that money is not really being allocated back into the US system. So it makes sense. They would want to shut it down.
So last question before I'm telling you they're going to kill me if I don't let everybody go to bed. Last question before we get up out of here is, what answers do you have for the diaspora looking for an application? You said yes too early. To connect to the continent of Africa after TikTok gets banned. So basically, he's saying, is there an app only for people from Merita or people that are descendants of people from Merita?
She's like, I'm ready for that one.
The app is get a ticket, a plane ticket, come to Africa, and then connect yourself to Africa.
Thank you. It's all.
I'm sorry, but yeah, like we have to say straight. You cannot use TikTok. What are you seeing TikTok? What's
not
like
real.
TikTok? It's not real. Like TikTok, whatever they're showing on TikTok. I mean, I don't know if they're showing us the same thing, but whatever they're showing on TikTok about Africa, Merita to say, it's not what is in Merita. So please, if you want to connect yourself to the land, please get a ticket, a plane ticket, come to Africa, and then connect yourself. Got the experience being here, and then just don't sit in there being lazy and then being TikTok trying to be like, yeah, I'm connecting myself on TikTok. Hell, it doesn't work like that, please. Yeah.
I just want to say, the elders or the wise people like to say, when you said something or when you want to do something, make sure your action bring you to nothing. You can't say you want to connect to Africa or you want to come back, then for you go look for an application to connect. Okay, so if there was no application, how will you do? If we didn't have TikTok and all the social media we have, how will you do?
I mean, I think that's the $1 million question. Is that people? I think people want, like, you know the proverb, like, if you want the cashew, you have to climb the cashew tree.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people don't want to do the actual effort. Yeah.
Well, people are just comfortable. That's the thing. Like the Western society, the Western world really have
makes you
really
comfortable.
stuck.
I said yes quick when you say I said yes quick because I think we should avoid the diaspora, but it's really late, so maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
We should talk about them soon. kind of.
Get it.
The one who sits and learn is no better than the one who go and learn, right?
Yeah.
Well, isn't the proverb ancestors give the dust on the feet is different from the dust on the butt?
Right.
Yeah.
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 Because you know the difference, right?
Yeah.
The dust of the feet are
As due to
accompanied-
travel.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
accompanied by experience.
Yep.
And then when you sit, you don't have the experience. You just sit and take it. Then
Yep.
you don't use it at that time.
Like those are the people that sitting like on social media and then going to the library. How do you say
Library.
The library and then sitting there learn things about Africa that's right by someone that's not
African, right?
African or from Africa. And then now, when you come, or now when you have someone that's from there and they're trying to tell you the real experience that's from the place, you can like, yeah, I know better because I read book.
You read a book about it.
Yeah, or I see on social media. No, like we all have social media. Sometimes I see things that they're showing about my country, my lovely country. I'm shocked because you guys are telling lies on social media. Please, it's brother or sister. Please don't do that. Don't be the type of person that just gonna sit and then trying to connect yourself by social media or someone's experience. Please move yourself. Just try a little bit. Come to the place. Learn, and then it's better like when you're gonna experience that, it's gonna click something in you than being on social media just like you're still gonna see the same shit every time and then you're gonna get annoying or bored at some point. So please travel, come and then live the life and learn.
You have something to say or no?
About that?
Yeah.
I think, okay. I think she said all.
So with that being said, the podcast You Love to Hate is back.
Yes.
Gator Gates, we're here, we're back. It's been another episode of the Gator Gates podcast. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for being here. I'll let Shemzimen take us out because I think he has something to say.
Yeah, just going back to that question, you know, the application and everything. Like, Yenboam said it. She couldn't have said it better myself. But we got to be real about things, you know. And I was just actually watching a video. Kebtah, Ibrahim Traoré, he was just in Ghana, and they were doing the summit to call back the diaspora. So these are, like, real things that's happening. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you're busy on TikTok, Instagram, and all that kind of stuff, at least utilize it for those real things to know what's actually happening, instead of like the videos of the girl doing this. Yeah, don't watch that.
What are the kids doing that?
Yeah, the swing thing. Yeah, like learn what's actually happening and then learn how to put yourself in it. Because now you can go to Ghana and get applications to come here. Now they're opening up the doors in Burkina Faso for the diaspora to actually come here, for you to get citizenship, to actually make those moves, to actually reconnect to your culture. And you don't have to do it from a friggin' screen. You can come here, like Yenboam said. Like, things are happening, and I think people need to understand that. Like, the world is shifting, things are changing, and you have to learn to get with the program. This whole podcast, we've been talking about how people are just getting with the program, with the system. But even the system is crashing, so you need to learn to get with the program with the people who are going against the system. You need to learn to get with the train, hop on the right trains, and get to it. And don't complain anymore. It's not time for complaining anymore. It's time for change. It's time for revolution. I said it right? Yeah. Exactly.
Like, I'm so glad that they shut down TikTok in America, because now you guys gonna trying to figure out like where's the real shit. Yeah, what to do with your life, because TikTok been just like taking us crazy. I'm part of it. I won't lie, I won't deny it, but sometimes just being like, man, it's too much. So yeah, it's good that they're shutting down things there. I mean, if they can shut down all of the social media and then you guys gonna travel,
Oh no, people are gonna lose their minds slowly.
And also, we have to tell the diaspora that they have to be conscious, because if diaspora reclaim themselves, it's gonna help us. If diaspora is with our side, it's gonna help us. But I don't think the diaspora understand they are important, because they are already there. They understand. We know there. They understand there better than I. Normally, they're supposed to be the one that help us, but I think they sleep more than us. So
Yeah, like it's just shocking because I already
it's sad.
personally, someone of my family, same blood, already visit the land, but the only thing that they're telling them in America over there, but she's like a diaspora, and then like seeing me, and then the first question that she's asking me is like, oh, in Africa actually there's like people like children that don't have food, like they don't have food to eat, or there's like lions. Are you guys are savage? I'm like, you travel to the place, you see the place, you see how we live. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. So just like, yeah, the diaspora need to make more effort, and they're not just sitting there reading things and then just saying like believing whatever they're just telling them. They just travel. Like right now in Pygmy, you guys come here to see like the real thing, and then you're gonna have the experience of the real thing. And then are you guys thinking like here is like the worst place to be?
yeah,
No.
and tell them to stop going to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, that's not Africa.
They can just come to Merita and learn more than that. Because when you go at Saudi Arabia, it's always the same thing. You're gonna go to turn on La Kaaba and all that. So
Please, yo, just come to the
save
right
your
place.
money and come to Africa or Merita.
And don't just come
better.
because I know like American people just love life. No, if you wanna come to Africa to Merita, please come to the right place where there's still like indigenous
but-
people that have knowledge to share with you guys.
We understand those that are not able to make, because as we said, it's gonna be like manifest to fire. We all have it, but like someone like Ibrahim Traore already manifested at a high level. Someone like Naba Irita, I can't even talk about that. So we have to also continue manifesting that too. Like Get Off Get podcast, maybe we're not conscious about what, or you are not conscious about what you did, but I think you are doing a good job, and then maybe the fruit are not gonna benefit now, but for the newcomers, they're just gonna click on what to say, Get Off Get episode 1 season 2. This, oh, those guys predict this, those guys predict this, those guys predict this. But when you humble and honest, so everything you say is gonna be like a prediction, but it's just your honesty and your humility talk for you. So like that.
I just wanted to make a comment with the starving children in Africa thing. Listen, man, I've seen the same commercial for starving children in Africa since I was 3 years old. That commercial has never changed. So, and I'm gonna tell you this right now. I've been here. I've been to the continent 3 times. I've never eaten so much. So, so we need to change that narrative, honestly. And if there is starving children, I'm gonna say this again. It's the West. It's you who send your assassins. It's you who send your political hitmen. It's you who send your people who you're controlling to then destabilize regions of indigenous people, causing those things, and then to go filming it and then saying, look here, world, look what's happening here. But you causing the problem and trying to give the solution. We need to cut that out. And we need to stop falling for it, us as diasporans.
And Macron tell us to say thank you for him to to cause the problem and bring the solution at the same time. He said to say thank to him.
Fuck those guys.
How did he become a president?
Fuck them. Fuck them. For
Fuck
real.
those guys. Their time will come.
We appreciate you guys for tuning in, and we hope you guys continue to tune in. This has been another episode of the Gated Gates podcast. We're back with season 2, so we'll be back with you guys. It might be next week. It might be tomorrow. It might be Sunday. You never know. So lock in, like, comment, subscribe, put on the notifications, and then you'll know anytime we go live or anytime we're about to go live so that you don't miss an episode and that you can interact with us in real time while we're doing the show. We appreciate you, Heqitem. We appreciate you, Yenboam. Kajazariman, it's always a pleasure.
We appreciate you too.
Well, one hand washes the other.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see you guys soon. Please check out all of the things that we're doing right now for the Kebtah 30-year celebration. You find us. You find us online. I don't have to say where it is, but now we just gotta get Kenny Basha to wake up so he can end the stream, and then we'll be back with you guys soon. Idiadu.
Yeah.